and she's just been a joy. We have loved having her as part of our department. A lot of times we kind of pick out students in the beginning of, people that really showcase the elements of God and build community here in this department, and Kayla has been one of those. She's kind of dubbed mom by many students, and we just have really appreciated her, and we're going to miss her a lot, and so as she moves on. So we love you and wish you the best. And so Kayla's going to tell you a little bit about her show and how this all works. And so do you have your sales associate somewhere?
My sales associates, I'll point them out.
Okay. All right.
Sales associate turned paparazzi.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're a small company.
Let's go ahead, Kayla.
First of all, thank you all so much for coming. There's so many folks here that I didn't expect to show up. Folks that I don't even know. I appreciate you coming by. It's awesome. Thank you to my parents who have been here almost as much as I have the last several days. My family, they're my family too. My siblings, Jenna and Jonathan, they've been a huge, huge help. Also, you can see that they're wearing t-shirts. They are the sales associates of the Cake Jar. So how this is going to work very quickly, as soon as this is over, this discussion is over, the merchandise will be available for sale. Please don't kill each other. That would be terrible. Please, in a good Christian way, pick your cake off the shelf. Don't beat each other for them. Anyway, and you can see either of them. Actually, see Jana, she's got the iPad. If you don't have cash, you can pay with debit. Got it all set up. Just see her t-shirts. We've already set up an additional order that I'm going to order in the next couple of days. So if there are not enough shirts, she also has a book. You can put your name, contact info, size, and all that, and I'll reorder shirts. So don't kill each other over those either. Okay, that's all the specifics about purchasing. Let me tell you a little bit about the show. The idea came to me when I was trying to think of how to turn the gallery space into something that was conducive to graphic design, because graphic design is not typically something that you design and then frame and put on a wall for everybody to come look at. You interact with it all the time. And so I wanted to show how a brand would use different graphic design techniques to build their brand, to sell their product, to create an experience for people. So that's what I wanted this to be. I wanted this to be a great experience, and so I built it around a fictitious company that I made up around a product that I came up with in graphics 2 on one of our projects. And it just kind of became a fun thing I've experimented with over the last couple of years, and the faculty has received some cakes in the jar for a couple of holidays and things like that. So they're aware of this product, and so when I built the show around it, I just thought it was kind of fitting, it was kind of fun. And so I'm excited to share it with you. If you have any questions, you can ask them in just a moment. Let me explain some things about the cake. Because we needed to ice them and we needed to make them look pretty for this occasion, they are not officially sealed, so they need to be consumed in a timely manner, or they could possibly spoil. Just to let you know, I baked them. The art department had nothing to do with it. So if anyone gets sick, do not call the union art department. They don't care. They do care. It's all me. It's all me, not them. So I hope you enjoy them. I've had so much fun putting this together, and I'm just so blessed that everyone's out here. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. I hope I can answer. Love to. And not everybody wants.
Tell us
A little bit about what's
Cake in a Jar.
Cake in a Jar? So I first heard of the idea of Cake in a Jar when I read online that some mothers had gotten together and they baked cake in a jar. And when you take them out of the oven, because they are baked in the jar, you can seal them because they're hot enough if you use a canning jar to seal. And they would do that because they would keep fresh for almost a year and send them to their sons overseas that were fighting in the war because they'll keep so long. So they would bake their kids' favorite cake on their special occasions like birthdays and things like that and send them over. So I thought it was really cool. And then that lady in the back over there, Sister Carla Moody, who's one of the most influential people in my life. Back there, hey boo. She made them a Mother's Day thing we had at church one time. And I thought, that's so cool. And like the next week, Miss Posey said, we're going to do this project, a bottle in a box. You need to rebrand something. And so I came up with the idea, okay, I'm gonna make cake in a jar, but I'm gonna make it a legit product. Like, it's gonna be a real thing, you know, like you would see on a shelf in a store. So I designed the box, but it's like a tray kind of packaging thing that the jars would sit in. And that's kind of where the idea came from. I just started playing with it. And then for one of my interview processes with the faculty, as a gift, to thank you, I gave them a cake in a jar. And then at Christmas, I gave them another one. They liked it. And that's just kind of where it came from. And the idea, I don't even know how it came to me, to be honest. I was at my cousin's house in Oklahoma, and I was sitting on the couch thinking about, senior show's going to be here in like a year. What am I going to do? And it just came to me. So I started working toward that. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the catalog will explain why there are like 4 distinct styles. I wanted to show that, first of all, I wanted to show that I was versatile as a designer, so that you could kind of see the different styles that I could do. But I also wanted to explain and to demonstrate that within a brand there can be varying styles, but they would all be cohesive in one brand. It is possible for a company to expand their reach and reach more people demographically and that kind of thing, just by tweaking design, but it would still be obvious that it belonged to the brand, and it was important to me to show that. So I'll go through this really quickly. The classics you see here on the wall, they're just your classic flavors or whatever. Then you have the rustic collection, which are more countrified, and they're my mom's homemade. Some of them are my mom's homemade recipes that I love. So I thought, that's just a picture. Yes, same picture. So I thought about trying to come up with some elevated brand. I thought it would be fun, so we made a more classy looking style, and that's on one side of the shelves as well. And then kids, I thought, I'm a kid. I love colors. Those were my favorites to make. I had so much fun with all the colors. So there's a kids line as well, and that's.
Cassie, you have a question? What was the most enjoyable part of this process for you?
Okay, let's see. Actually, right now is the most enjoyable part for me. But when it actually comes to the production of it, the most enjoyable part was, that's tough. I hadn't even thought about it so far. Well, first of all, just seeing my idea come to life was the most fun. I actually sketched out the designs for all the furniture that's in here, and I had it custom built. And so probably one of the coolest things was I took it to my carpenter's house one night. He invited me over to his garage, and he had me explain what I needed. And he took my sketch, and within 2 days called me to his house, and he said, check it out. And he had the whole thing built. It was incredible. And so for me, that was probably the most yes moment, because it's like my idea, my scribbles on a piece of paper, and here it is kind of thing. So that was probably the most enjoyable part. And then I loved mixing the color for the explosion cake. It was so much fun. When I squirted that in the batter, I was like, yes! Little things.
Can you talk about kind of how you went about putting graphics in a gallery and what you thought of and how you feel about doing that, how you feel like it went? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Initially, I think most design students here sometimes feel like, because this is a gallery space where we typically see a lot of fine art installations, we feel pressured to make our work, our design work, fit in a gallery space. And I guess I am a rebel. I don't think I am. I don't consider myself to be one, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to turn the space into a space that would fit my needs, so I could show you what graphic design is. It's not, I mean, posters are awesome and I love to make them, but that's not what all graphic design is. And so I felt like I needed to create something that would bring people in and show them what graphics is. So the vehicle I chose was just creating a business, a store, and I wanted to convert the space. So that was my main thinking about it. And I enjoyed it. It was a lot of work, I'm not going to lie. A lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of hours, but I think it's been worth it. And right now, at this moment, it's awesome. That's great. Did that answer what you wanted to?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Where are you going from here?
that's good. First of all, I'm going to sleep a while, and then graduate, and then I'll reevaluate where I'm going next. But I could definitely see this progressing into like a real business. I would just have to change my process a little bit because it was a lot of work. But we'll see. It'll be fun.
Which one is your personal favorite?
Oh boy. See, I've been asked this a few times and I can't pick. I like them all. There are probably 3 that stand out in the rustic collection. The apple cake is one of my favorite recipes that Mom's made forever. I've always loved that cake, so I wanted to include one of those for sure. So I like that one for that reason. And I'm a very sentimental person, so that's why these are my favorites. And then the cinnamon Yankee Dimes, there's a neat little story behind that. It's actually monkey bread. And for those of you that want to buy that one, it looks a little funky right now because it needs to be reheated and then it'll crisp up and bubble and get really yummy. So don't judge it by the current state. But as a child, Mom would let us get in the kitchen, and whenever we wanted to make something for Dad, because we thought anytime Dad liked something that we made, it was amazing. And we loved for Dad to make a big deal about what we did. So she would let us make monkey bread because it was easy. You could just roll it and not make a terrible mess. And so anytime we would make something for Dad, he would say, if you'll get me this, I'll give you a Yankee dime. If you give me that, I'll give you a Yankee dime. And when we were little, we thought that was amazing. Yes, a Yankee dime. Until we found out it's just a kiss. It wasn't really all that awesome. But anyways.
Okay.
Now that I'm older, I would take a Yankee dime over anything else in the world. So those are cinnamon Yankee dimes after my dad.
I got it on video.
And then the explosion cake is my other favorite because just the colors, that was a happy experiment. And when I opened the oven, one of them had boiled over. I put too much batter in it and it had boiled over. And so I whacked off the top to kind of see what it was doing. And all the colors in there are like all swirled and it's real cool. Looked like an explosion to me, so I thought this is what this was going to be. So that was fun just because I'm a big kid and I enjoyed it.
Any more questions? Okay, well, thank you, Kayla.
Guys, I wanted to recognize Kayla's dad, Reverend Doug, and her mother, and just express to both of you what an exceptional job you have done with your daughter. And she had a very positive oral experience with us, and I think Miss Allen, the art history professor, and Ms. Nadaski, painting, Dr. Holla is our aesthetics professor, and myself and Ms. Posey all agreed when she walked out of the room that this was on par to be, I personally felt was the best graphic show I'd ever seen, because it was graphics, what I think of as graphics, but it was done exceptionally well. But there was also a really creative twist to it too. But she really played on the field of graphics, you know. And to me, that's just really, really strong. That she played on that field and really did a tremendous job. And great talent for our department, great advertising for our department. So, and I know parents don't get enough thanks, but you all have done a tremendous job with your daughter. And we thank you for sharing her with us and letting her be with us for 4 years.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next we have Megan Thompson's show will open next Thursday, so we'll all be back in here in this gallery. So, Andrew, you want to close us in prayer, please?
Sure. Dear Lord, thank you for this day, and thank you for all the people gathered here to see this show. Please help us all to have safe trips back and to encourage each other. Amen.
Amen.